Howdy y'all, Los here. Welcome to another episode of Bonsai-YEAH. Well, we're in my garden again. And there's a lot of spring work for us to do, so let's get to it. Come on, let's go. I got something to show you. I gotta make some soil. So I'm gonna show you what I do to make some bonsai soil. Now this is inspired by Nigel Sanders' mix. We're gonna be using what's called Fuller's Earth. It can be bought under the name Safety Zorb. We're also gonna be using perlite. I'm gonna be using just good old-fashioned Miracle-Gro perlite. And what I wanna do before just adding 50-50 of this, I've got to sift it. There's a lot of dust particles, a lot of smaller particles I want to avoid. So I've got this little organizer tray with just the right amount of mesh. And I'd say that's probably, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch wide at its widest. I'd probably say that, right? That's probably a safe bet. And I'm basically going to sift it down and we're going to add 50-50 of the mix. So here's a little montage of me doing that. Now you're only left with the bigger particles, which are way more suitable for bonsai. And then this stuff we can use to make potting soil, right? Let's keep going. This whole dang bag. So, the second ingredient in Nigel Sanders' bonsai mix is Fuller's Earth. It's basically hardened clay. It's used for all sorts of stuff. It's pretty cool. It's used, you may see it as like really bad kitty litter. And it's actually sold as kitty litter. You can find it as kitty litter. It's the same thing. It's very dusty. But when you get down to the nice bigger rocks here, you get a nice little mix. feels like Akadama. We know it works. It's tried and true. It's been tested, at least by one bonsai hobbyist that we all admire. Okay, so we've got our perlite, we've got our fuller's earth, but I wanted to add something to this. I wanted to add some top shelf expanded shale. Add maybe 25% of that, 25% in perlite. That should be a pretty good mix, I think. So let's give it a shot. We'll call that the Los mix, huh? This is like perfect for hydroponics. Yeah, there's nothing to sift out of this. We'll just throw that with that. Maybe one more big scoop of that stuff. I think you sifted it enough. All right, so we're just gonna toss in our perlite mix. I'm gonna go and get the shuffling. Get down, right down to the bottom, pull it up. Down to the bottom, pull it up. That's all we're doing here. Just trying to get a good mix of everything. Oh yeah. So you just have a good mix of everything. Oh yeah. There. It's my bonsai soil. I think this should be good. I don't know, the expanded shell's a little big, but we'll see how it goes this year. We'll just give it a shot. All right. If you wanted to do the Nigel Sanders recipe, you would want to throw in a little bit of pine bark if you got it. I think he uses like a reptile one from like a reptile store or something. They got those, right? Reptile stores? What's a reptile store, Los? I don't know. Made it up. It's like a pet store for reptiles. Okay, I'm gonna get all the perlite out of from underneath my fingernails. Probably should wear gloves when you do this part. If you don't want to do this part, but okay. So I'm gonna grab some of this peat moss. I probably want to give just a little bit of compost. This is just a little bit of kick. I definitely don't want any inorganic fertilizer, synthetic rather. Just to be sure, I don't want to get any big chunks. I'm just going to pass it through this little sieve here. Just going to get some of that compost, and I don't want all the big stuff. And all that fine stuff there, that's the good stuff. Now, I don't want my soil to be so compact that it can't breathe. So I'm gonna put a little bit of aggregate in here. I think that's pretty good in compost. Maybe add another handful. Yeah, one more handful. Yeah, that's good right there. I think that'll be good. I like the size of this mini bucket, but this need a bus tub for this job here. This would have been better. But you know, you only have so many things. Okay. That's good. Okay. Now, I got this perlite right here, nice and soft and pillowy, so I think I'll add maybe a handful. We'll see how that goes. Just get it mixed around in there. If you feel any bigger twigs or something, get them out. You don't want any rocks or twigs or anything impeding on a seed to grow. You know, even that kind of stick wasn't very big or thick, but it can cause the seedling to probably, you know, grow funky if it has to work around that. It has to push up on it or something. So I'm just getting down in the deep corner there, making sure that peat moss gets up and out. And I think this is some good looking soil here. I mean, that's some good soil. It's got the right amount of perlite in there. So I'm still pulling out little sticks like that. All right, that's a pretty sweet mix. Now, I may consider putting vermiculite in this, but I think this is going to hold moisture just fine. It's going to be free draining, and I'm still pulling out little twigs and everything, but I'm going to continue to do that as I dispense this. Now that I've got the soil, I've got the seeds, now I need a place that I can start these seeds. It's a good thing that I got me one of these. I got this Burpee 12 cell, 16 cell, my math is a little off, seed starting tray. And it's got this sweet little rubber part here that helps pop out your little seedling for transplant. Ain't that something? So we're gonna try this out and see if it works. Comes with a nice little tray. Seems like it's a pretty durable plastic. It's not like the thickest plastic, but definitely not the thinnest either. So I've got a few seeds I want to get going, but I'm going to go ahead and fill up these trays and we'll get into talking about the seeds that I got. Now, I'm not packing this down too tight, but I definitely don't want this thing to just give when I press down into it. I want it to have a little bit of structure in there, not a bunch of air pockets. So I'm just gonna tamp it down lightly like this. Just make sure, tamping out all that extra air so we don't have some big old air pockets that show up when we start to water this thing. See, look at that thing, dipped right down. So we wanna add a little bit more soil to that one. A little more. That's gonna be just fine. Okay. The seed tray looks like it's just about ready for some seeds. You know what I'm saying? we've got these really cool seeds. Now this is a really cool seed starter here. Now normally you'd have like some sort of flag or something to tell you what everything is in here. Now they've actually laid out a little grid system where we've got a row of A, B, C, and D, and we've got file 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll think of it like chess there, ranking files. They also give you this little thing to help you chart out where you're going as well. We're going to use you guys as our chart because video helps us remember where everything is, but I'll write it down as well. I got these sweet seeds here, and I'm really excited to give them a shot. There's a lot of them here, so we're going to pick a few of them to go in here, and I may want to make a couple out of each of them, so we'll see here. Now, what I have here, Crotalaria Cunninghami, or the hummingbird flower. We're going to plant a couple of those for show. So let's go ahead and we'll put those in there right there. So let's write down what we have. Now you can do this before or after. I'm going to just go ahead and do it before. We're going to plant 3 Crotalaria Cunninghami. So these are going to be an A1. I don't think I'm going to like bury them. I'm just going to kind of like drop them on the soil and we'll cover them. There's one. I'll just sort of press it in. 2. I'll put this in a triangular fashion so I can see if they grow. And look, there's the first one. Very cool. A1. Okay, this next one, we've got this rose, and it's got pink and orange swirls in it, white and pink and orangish, reddish. It's really cool. The Rosa bush. Yeah, we're just gonna see how that goes. I'll plant. I got 10 of them here, so I'll plant 5 of them. Then we're gonna do an Rosa rose. Sorry, Rosa 5. Okay, cinco de Rosa. B1, we're gonna go to B1 here. So we'll start up there. I'm gonna kind of press it in the soil here. 2, 3, 4, 5. So, star shape. Okay. Big Rick and Morty fan. One thing I wanted to get was some of that Szechuan sauce. I didn't want to go to McDonald's to get it, so I wanted to make it myself. So I got me some Szechuan peppers. I've got 20 of these, so I think I'll go ahead and I'll plant a good 5 of them in C1. We've got Szechuan. Got lobelia here. I don't know what it is. It's a pretty purple flower. Came with 50 seeds, so I'm just gonna go ahead and, should I dump the whole thing on there? Now I'll do like a pinch of them, maybe like 10 seeds. Let's do 10 in D1. Next here, we're gonna put in A2. I've got Borage. It's a weird looking flower, blue and red, kind of cool, man. And the seed is very unusual as well. This came with 100 seeds, so I think I'm gonna give a fair amount, maybe another 10 or 15 on there in A2. It's too charging, I got. Weird looking. Letting them really get close to each other. Give them enough space. That's too much. We're just gonna go for it and see what happens. Experimenting this season. All right, I've got this green zebra tomato. I got 40 of them in here, so I definitely want to conserve these. We're gonna put them in B2. I definitely don't want too many tomatoes this season. Last year I had way too many tomatoes. Not enough people that eat tomatoes in this house, so you got to be careful with that. Don't go overzealous. But one thing that's good is that you can always give them away. People are always willing to take plants home. So I think what I'll do is I'll go with 5. And we'll plant them in B2. Star-shaped pattern. Press those lightly in the soil. It's a pretty gnarly looking flower. You know, they must be rare because they only give you 5. So I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 of these, or sow them. I'm not planting them. They've got a harder shell. I'm thinking maybe I have to stratify them or something. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and like poke that in. Whoa, and poke that in, just like that. All right, I've got about half of this pod left here, and I've got some more seeds I want to start. So, what I've got here, some Chinese forget-me-nots. I got some royal purple pods here. That's beans, black beauty zucchinis, and some columbine blue star flowers. So I'm just gonna go and spread those up, and we'll come right back to you, okay? Thought I had a little from my furry friend inside. Put a little bit of catnip in there for him. this burpee tray, it's pretty neat. I like that you got yourself a little way of remembering what you had, so you're gonna tuck that away for now. And when we water this, we will no longer water it from the top, we will water it from the bottom. So I'm gonna fill this up with water so that it can bottom feed and suck in all of the water it needs. And that's gonna prevent a lot of mold from forming on top here. And I hopefully can show you this in just a couple months, what this looks like. What we can do is take this and transplant it out into the garden or wherever we want to place them. So we'll check back on that later. Let's go see some other stuff in the garden. That's all in a day's work. Thank you guys for joining us. If you like our content, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon. That way you're notified every time we're live or when we drop a video. In the meantime, be cool, stay hip, get yourself a hobby. See you next time.